My mother-in-law seems to dislike me. Should I ask for a refund on the house purchase I funded?
Huh?
My husband was perplexed, but when I revealed a certain fact, his attitude changed dramatically.
Is that true?
My name is Jamie, and I'm a 35-year-old remote worker. I've been married to Daniel for 3 years. We met during university, not dating at the time. We started dating when we met again at a reunion of the club we belonged to. After about a year of dating, we decided to get married. Since I had been focused on work and had no dates, marrying him felt like a miracle. I truly believe he's the right partner. Our married life has been enjoyable, and even now, 3 years later, we feel happy. However, recently, a significant change occurred in that happiness. It started with my father-in-law's health issues. He is not yet in need of nursing care, but he has to make frequent visits to the hospital. My mother-in-law asked us to move in with her because she was worried about her old age and other things. Since I didn't have a negative impression of my in-laws, I didn't oppose when my husband brought up the idea of cohabitation. We've been married for 3 years now, and we've had our fair share of life as a couple. I thought it would be nice for my in-laws to live with our grandchild when we have one. When I agreed to living together, my husband was extremely pleased.
Thank you so much. Mom and Dad will definitely be thrilled.
For the sake of our in-laws and seeing my husband happy, it was good. After that, we moved from our previous place to live with our in-laws. Dad, Mom, I look forward to being with you from today.
Likewise, nice to meet you.
I'm truly sorry for causing inconvenience because of me.
No, please, don't say that.
That's right. Supporting each other is what family does. Right? Thank you, both.
My father-in-law used to be active, always full of energy, enjoying outdoor activities like mountain climbing and fishing when he was in good health. So the current situation with his health issues affecting his legs and back is quite shocking for him. I felt the need to take care of his mental well-being, and thus our cohabitation life began. At first, I thought things were going really well. Mom, I've prepared lunch.
Oh, thank you. That's a relief. Today, the hospital was quite crowded. I'm really hungry now.
My mother-in-law expressed gratitude when I did housework. My father-in-law did not yet need care, but he had to be accompanied to the hospital, and my mother-in-law was having a hard time, so I wanted to support her as much as I could. I work during the day, but as a remote worker, I can quickly respond to any situation. After finishing a certain amount of work, I went shopping, and I managed cleaning and laundry in between. That way, I tried to balance work and assist my mother-in-law to reduce her burden. However, around a month after the start of cohabitation, my mother-in-law's attitude began to change.
Jamie, why are you always playing in your room? What's your intention?
Huh? Playing?
Yes, you open your computer, do online shopping, and watch foreign dramas, don't you?
Well, I'm working.
Huh? Working? What nonsense are you spewing?
Daniel explained this to you, right? I work remotely.
I can't believe that, because you're always watching dramas. I can hear the sound coming from your room. You're playing, not working. I hate such lies. Were you playing while I was going through a hard time, accompanying my husband to the hospital? That's really awful.
No, you see,
I don't need excuses. Be more careful from now on.
My mother-in-law left the room in anger. I work as a translator and French language tutor. I primarily do translation work on the computer, and my French tutoring job involves online classes, also using a computer. Perhaps my mother-in-law is hearing my spoken French and misunderstanding it as dialogue from foreign dramas. Even with such a misunderstanding, it's troublesome. I immediately reported the incident to my husband. Hey, today your mom said this to me.
Huh? Really? Mom said that?
As I nodded, my husband was at a loss for words.
I'll go talk to Mom for a moment.
Then my husband went to his mother's room. Curious, I went near my mother-in-law's room. She seemed upset about something.
Why do I have to endure this anger?
Jamie is working. I explained that before, right?
What are you talking about? She's always just playing on the computer. You wouldn't know since you're not home during the day, but she's not working. Besides, it's impossible to be working without going out to an office.
In your time, it might be hard to understand. But nowadays, many people work remotely.
My mother-in-law seemed unable to comprehend this. Then, my father-in-law, who was in the room, spoke up.
Daniel and Jamie both say she's working. And she's helping with the housework. Isn't that appreciated? At least our life has become easier compared to before we lived together.
That may be true, but... Okay, fine. I won't blame her anymore.
My mother-in-law reluctantly agreed. Hopefully she'd be quieter now. After this, my mother-in-law didn't say anything particular to me. However, at the same time, she stopped showing any kindness.
Jamie, lunch? Oh, forget it. You must be busy with work, right?
No, I can take a lunch break and make it.
Oh, really? Can you freely interrupt work so easily? I find it suspicious. Well, if you say you're working, I have no choice but to believe it.
My mother-in-law kept making mean comments like this every day. However, since she didn't interfere with my work, I couldn't discuss it with my husband much. Constantly complaining to him wouldn't put him in a good mood, and it might seem like I was overreacting. So I decided to endure the slight teasing. From then on, despite all the complaints, I continued to work and do my chores properly. And then I realized that it had been a year since we started living together. My husband seemed quite busy with work, and recently he had been working overtime more. I did my best every day not to burden him. However, my mother-in-law's attitude remained unchanged. Moreover, taking advantage of me working hard for my husband, she started imposing various tasks on me. As a result, I ended up doing all the housework lately. All my mother-in-law does is accompany my father-in-law to the hospital. And that's only once a week. So, it's pretty easy. Yet my mother-in-law keeps nagging and complaining about me.
Are you playing around today, or are you actually working? You're always staying at home and hardly ever going outside. Are you a shut-in? How about going out a bit? Should I ask you to go to my husband's hospital?
No, I have work to do.
Sure. Work, right? I understand. Working or just watching foreign dramas.
My mother-in-law continued to berate me as usual. It happens all the time when my husband and father-in-law are not around. And she makes other snide remarks about me.
When are you going to give birth to a child? When will I see my grandchild?
I've discussed it with my husband. Right now, it's a period where we're both focusing on our careers.
Work again? Our requests are never taken seriously. Huh. What do you really think of your parents? Daniel, you're surely being deceived by her.
Why did I have to hear such things? I was getting fed up with the constant bullying. Amidst all this, my husband and I achieved a certain goal. It was regarding our savings, and together we managed to accumulate enough money to buy a house. My husband and I had been planning to purchase a home for a long time, and finally it seemed like we could make that dream a reality. However, there was one problem we faced during this time. It was about living with my in-laws. Considering the current situation, if we bought a house, my in-laws would also move into the new home. I wasn't fond of my mother-in-law, but my father-in-law was kind, and above all, I was concerned about his health. So it seemed reasonable to continue living together. But honestly, I didn't want to endure my mother-in-law's bullying any longer. When I thought about it, I came up with a certain idea. Hey, when we purchase the new house, I have a suggestion. How about making it a two-family home?
Huh? A two-family home?
Yeah, that way your mom and dad and we can all have our privacy and each of us can have spacious rooms. I think it would be great.
Certainly makes sense. The current place is a bit cramped. Besides, I come home late, and I worry about waking up my parents.
See? That's why I think a two-family home would be better for our new place.
Alright, let's do that.
I felt relieved that my husband agreed. When my husband discussed the idea of buying a new home with his parents, they were both pleased.
What an attractive idea. I'm so happy.
But is it really okay? Wouldn't a new home be something a couple would want to live in alone? Don't worry about that.
Exactly, dear. We're still living together now, so getting a new house won't change anything.
Oh, but I'm thinking of making the new house a two-family home.
Huh? Two-family? Why two-family? Living together as we do now is just fine, isn't it?
Well, my job is demanding and I come home late, so I want to be considerate of both sides. Besides, having a two-family home means we each have more space, and if we make your side barrier-free, it'll be much easier for you, Dad. When four adults live together, things tend to accumulate, and if, in the future, Dad needs a wheelchair or something, having limited space would be inconvenient. Also, though we don't have plans for it now, when we have kids, living separately might be safer. Little kids tend to run around a lot, you know?
This isn't cohabitation.
Well, isn't it fine? I think it's okay if Daniel and Jamie proceed as they wish.
Are you saying that too?
Daniel and Jamie are the ones looking to buy a house, and they're making it a two-family home so we can live nearby. You should be grateful for that alone.
Natalie reluctantly agreed after being told that by her husband. Well, it was clear she wasn't fully convinced. And when it came to buying the house, my in-laws offered to contribute, but we declined. It was a decision made by my husband and me. As a result, we decided not to take any money from my in-laws. From there, we continued with various plans for buying the house. My mother-in-law still didn't seem fully convinced, but even so, the idea of a new house made her happy and excited. Generally, her mood was better, so the usual teasing towards me seemed lighter. After a few months, the day to move into our renovated new home finally arrived. The new house after the renovation was so magnificent that we were excited at first sight. Wow, amazing!
So this is our new home.
It was worth diligently saving money, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Well, it's splendid.
At my age, to be able to live in such a beautiful house again, this is truly appreciated. Thank you both.
My father-in-law expressed his gratitude happily to us. Thank you, Daniel. It's fantastic. My mother-in-law thanked only my husband, which bothered me a little bit, but I decided to assume that she only mentioned my husband's name because he was her son. From there, we each began living in our new homes. The new home was incredibly comfortable. With just the two of us, there was plenty of space, and most importantly, there were many moments without my mother-in-law, making life more relaxed. I could focus on work. That's what I thought, but within a week of starting our new life, my mother-in-law began trying to visit our house repeatedly. The doorbell rings repeatedly. She knows I'm home because I've mentioned working from home. Despite that, she persistently rings the doorbell. Under such circumstances, I can't concentrate on work. So I reluctantly have to open the door and let my mother-in-law in. She walks around our house, and,
"So this is what it looks like,"
she says, starting an impromptu room tour. And then she proceeds to offer me snacks and coffee and turns on the TV without asking. Mom? What are you doing?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just relaxing, so feel free to do your work.
No, if you want to relax, wouldn't it be better to do it in your own home?
Huh? What? Are you, as a daughter-in-law, trying to give me orders? I was against living separately to begin with. You probably wanted to have a separate house, right? You're such a terrible woman, avoiding me.
But, is it okay to leave Dad alone?
He's fine. Even if something happens, I can reach him from this distance.
Well, leaving him alone?
Then if you're so concerned, why don't you stay over there with him?
Huh? Wait, that feels a bit different.
Then don't interfere.
My mother-in-law said that, and forcefully stayed. And then she even went to my father-in-law's place to make lunch. And then she came back here to relax. While I was working, I couldn't concentrate because my mother-in-law was loudly watching TV. Mom, could you lower the volume a bit?
Shut up! Don't talk to me. I'm at a good part right now.
You're the loud one. And my mother-in-law once forced me to accompany my father-in-law to the hospital because she had her own business to attend to. Originally, I had a French teaching class scheduled, but I had to apologize to the students and reschedule, filling in for my mother-in-law at the hospital. My father-in-law apologized repeatedly and treated me to lunch as an apology. My father-in-law is on my side because he believes I am doing my job properly. Apparently, my mother-in-law doesn't like that either, so she treats me harshly. Her attitude towards me has become even harsher since we moved to the new house, so I've reached the point where I can't bear it anymore. One day I called my husband to the living room saying I had something to talk about.
What's wrong? Why the serious tone?
It seems your mom doesn't like me, so I'm thinking about asking for a refund of the money I contributed to buying the house.
Huh?
My husband was puzzled. Well, you would be surprised to hear such a thing out of the blue. But when I told him a certain fact, his attitude suddenly changed.
Is that true?
Your mom has been disturbing me while working at home, and it's been affecting my concentration. Then I talked about how his mother pressured me about having grandchildren and insulted me, suggesting I might be infertile. Gradually, my husband's face turned red, and he headed to his parents' side of the house. I followed him out of the house.
What's suddenly going on?
Mom, cut it out. I heard it from Jamie. You've been coming to this house during the day, disturbing her work.
I'm not doing such a thing.
Mom, don't play innocent. I have security cameras installed in my house.
Huh?
I was worried that something might be stolen, so I have footage of you relaxing in our house all the time.
That's...
When I said that, my mother-in-law looked surprised.
Weren't you always saying that you go for a walk for your health? Also having tea with neighbors. So all this time you were going to Jamie's place and disturbing her work?
Well, that is...
Cornered, my mother-in-law finally spoke her mind.
Because I didn't like it. What's with this working from home thing? You always look so comfortable that you don't look like you're really working.
I see. So Mom, you were jealous.
But even if you say you're working is just pocket money, I could earn that much with a part-time job.
Then try earning as much as Jamie does. She earns more than I do.
What? Don't you work for a major company? Is that really true?
I work as a translator and a French tutor. Thankfully, I get jobs from various clients for both. So I earn about $5,000 a month.
No way! That's a lie, right?
It's not a lie. Jamie covered half of the house purchase cost.
What?
Seems like you looked down on Jamie quite a bit, and you lied to me, deliberately causing trouble. I can't forgive someone like that. We're getting a divorce.
Wait! Why does it have to end in a divorce?
We talked about this before. When you begged me not to divorce you after your affair in the past, you promised not to hurt or betray me again. If you disillusion me again, we'll definitely divorce. What's that? This is the first I'm hearing of. Sorry. I thought it wasn't something I should talk about, so I kept quiet. That time you were still in high school, and it was a sensitive period for you. I see. I mean, my mom is the worst. She had an affair, and then she went on to bully my wife. There's no redemption. We're cutting ties with her.
What? If even you abandon me, where should I go?
You reap what you sow. Live on your own.
Shockingly, my mother-in-law was handed divorce papers by my father-in-law and kicked out of the house. Afterwards, she managed to move to a cheap, shabby apartment, working part-time to sustain her modest lifestyle. On the other hand, with my mother-in-law gone, I've been able to live in peace. I regularly check on my father-in-law, and when my husband comes home early, we invite him over for dinner. Then, 6 months later, it was revealed that I was pregnant. Now, my husband, father-in-law, and I eagerly anticipate the arrival of our soon-to-be-born child, enjoying these happy days together.